What's up, everyone? It is me, Adam Prime, back again for another episode of Twit, this TokuBrew's podcast, This Week in Toku. No, we're not going to be calling it Twit. I just wanted to do it this one time. With me, as always, as you can hear, is my ever-lovely co-host with a very, very understandable passion for not passion fruit. I don't know. How do you feel about passion fruit?
What? Where did this question come from? Hi, I'm Stormy. What? Passion fruit. What?
I don't know. Have you ever had passion fruit?
I mean, I've had passion fruit flavored things, and I've enjoyed it.
Are you passionate about those passion fruits?
I don't know. The Pipeline Punch Monster is pretty fucking dope, but...
Wait, is that passion fruit?
Yeah, it's like passion fruit and, like, other bull crap. I don't know.
That's a... You know what? This is a very much more weird way to open up this week.
I don't know. You asked me about fruit out of nowhere. Like, what?
Hey. Sometimes that's just how it opens. Much better than, much better.
You're chaotic this day.
I guess I am.
I almost said this morning. Well, I guess that's technically true. It's very late.
Depending on who...
Texas.
But yeah, no. That's, We're trying to open this one up on a very much lighter note because we don't have any sad news this week.
Yeah.
Sorry for last week.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's a little bit sad, but it's like not really something to like apologize about. It's like I feel like necessary to mention.
I know.
It sucks.
Well, I know, but it's like we opened up on it, so it just kind of was like, oh, it just kind of felt weird to talk about the shows afterwards, though, because it's just like, oh, maybe this should have just been its own thing, and then we just do the podcast.
Oh, like a short or something.
Well, or just make it like its own like video or something. I don't know. But we got some stuff this week. We got all three of the shows, but before, we have some details of the Geats Revice movie, which some details you don't know.
Ooh, spicy.
Because we actually got some magazine shots of it. I'm not going to get any, sorry. I'm not going to waste the time. Because to track down all of these magazine shots, at this point of the week that I'm at, I'm not going to find them. And I don't feel like spending like half an hour trying to look for them. So... they're going back to the old style of team up movies apparently, where like the first half is like a Revice like wrap up movie where it's like the kind of like the ending.
Yeah.
And the writer's coming back for it.
Introducing Vice in some way because how could
we'll get to that.
Vice? I feel like that's pretty self-explanatory. Like
yeah.
Just like thinking about it for 2 seconds, you could figure that out.
Yeah, but the funniest part, and this part you do know, they get a new sibling. There's a fourth sibling. That's a baby. So it's like, dude, you wasted no time. Like, once Gifu was dead, it's like, all right, time to make sure we can have another one of our bloodline.
More descendants.
Yeah, of our demon-filled bloodline. And yeah, it has its own little baby demon. It's literally, like, it looks like a baby Veil. Like, Veil Vice. Yeah. Again, is
Vice.
it... So...
His name is Vice.
I don't remember what its name is. It actually does have a name. It's going to be voiced by like a 55-year-old man or something like that.
God.
So that's kind of funny. But yeah, is that not funny to you that like that's what they're doing for the final Revice story?
I mean, color me surprised. I wasn't expecting a baby sibling, so yeah, I guess.
I want to know like who decided that, where it's like, you know what? We need a new way to find a villain. Baby. I remember seeing shots of the baby and everyone's like, whose baby is this? You know what I mean? Where they're like, did Iki have a baby? Who had a baby? And then it's just like, no, that's their sibling, where it's like, wow, all right. Almost had almost all the kids out of the house and...
Good for you, Dad and Mom, I guess.
Yeah, good for you. Also, yes, like you said, we do know we're getting Vice, but we actually do find out that they're going to be using, you see Revi and Vice wearing Desire Drivers and with armed buckles.
Oh, you know how they're probably going to do it? He's probably going to touch an ID core.
Oh, to get his memories back? Like the Vice ID core specifically or something?
Probably.
Movie logic, baby.
If it's not, I'll be impressed.
Yeah,
so.
And so like that's a detail I know you didn't know. But we also found out it's not just a Geats and Revice team up. They're throwing Ryuki in here.
all the death games.
And fun fact right now, the news today, as I have recorded this, we are getting Ryuki on Blu-ray.
Yay, really?
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, I'm always happy to
Has
see
it?
more
And
art.
apparently, I sent you the picture, and I don't know if you looked at it closely enough, but it does say it has the director's cut of the ending.
Ooh, is it different? I imagine.
I think it's longer.
Oh.
I can't remember.
Well, yeah, I'm always down for more legal ways to have writer shows.
Yeah, it's like, I'm about to say, I'll probably buy it, because I've bought the other two, so...
Because right now we only have 0, 1, and Kuga, right?
Yeah, and then I have, most of the Ultra shows?
Most of the Ultra shows, yeah.
And no Sentais. I know Sentai has been really well stocked, but when they started, I had no money.
Also stupid expensive.
Yeah, they're also stupid expensive. Somebody's like, oh, but the Kamen Rider ones are just as expensive. Yeah, but I have money, and if I need some of those. Like, 0-1 I didn't need, but I needed Kuga.
Well, aren't they like fucking $50-$60 though?
Yeah. So is the Sentai. Yeah, they were both 60.
Huh. Well, I mean, wasn't it like there wasn't a lot of the Sentai you wanted out at the moment?
Well, like, that was another thing,
I
is
feel like they're only
Abba Ranger
just
just came out.
Yeah,
I
was about
need
say,
to buy
like-
that.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, if it was like a show we cared about, then yeah.
I need Abba Ranger so bad.
Not that we don't care about them, we just haven't really seen them, so.
Which, then again, I'm about to say, like, yeah, I'd like to get them someday.
Someday.
They have the power of infinite money.
We'll probably
Well,
never
that's
know
Geets.
it.
That's Geets.
Yeah, that's
He doesn't have to do anything. He
Okay.
literally, that was one of his wishes, was literally just to live comfortably without having to do anything. Where it's like, you fucker.
You motherfucker.
But yeah, Ryuki's in here, so... And we do know, we have confirmed some actors are coming back.
That's cool.
So that's cool. Ryuki has been getting a lot recently, but I think an anniversary for Ryuki's coming up.
Cool.
So... Yeah.
But when it comes to the shows this week, a lot of... I mean, as you probably noticed if you listened to the last one, there was a lot of, like, info dump stuff. Like, it was just, like, a lot of stuff was happening, a lot of plot stuff, very in the thick of it. And now it's kind of like, oh, the more lighter toned, more just kind of laid back ones, which I also enjoy, just kind of to get, like, a little...
And or resolving or wrapping up, because...
Yeah, Decker and Dawn Brothers kind of did that this week of just, like, okay, you can breathe a little easier. And
Well-
just have fun with this one.
I feel like, I would say, let's just get right in the Decker right here.
Okay, cool.
So we're going to the Decker. Honestly, I think I would say it's more of resolving all the current what happened recently with all of that. So it's like, yes, I do believe, but it's not going back to the normal. It's more of allowing like Kanata as a character to reflect on everything and
it's
be a
giving
complete.
him a breather, too.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like completely taking him out of the element, quite literally taking him out of the earth.
Yeah, and as we get to see, like, he also gets to see Kengo. He gets to see
Kengo's
Trigger.
back.
And they have a really fun bromance.
By the way,
going on.
he broke out of that dimension easy. He literally just got sucked in and was
Oh,
like, oh,
here.
fuck. Beep.
There we go.
Yeah, and then he breaks open. He's like, oh, shit,
Yeah,
I'm in space.
It's nice, just... They said I'm shitting in space.
Maybe he did. Do you know how Ultras go to the bathroom?
I don't know.
Do you know how they have children?
I know you don't know.
Does anybody know? Have you seen...
I don't know.
I'm about to say, you can't say, have you seen an Ultraman baby?
We cannot get into this conversation.
We've
It'll
seen
take a
Ultraman
whole
babies.
episode.
We know they can have fathers.
It'll take a whole episode out of
Forgive your
Let's
father.
Move on from the Ultra Babies. I know that's a whole video. I feel like you could make just by yourself, just like your Ultraman.
I need to get it like a
Ultraman rant.
fucking one of those whiteboards and make it look like a conspiracy
Oh,
board.
absolutely. But anyway, like so most of this episode was kind of fights, which is
And
kind of
Yapul.
cool. We don't see that too often of like, oh, it's mostly an Ultra fight, it's mostly monster fights, which is pretty cool. So that was nice.
Yeah. It
A little
was
bit of a team up.
yeah, it was just kind of cool, and it was just Kengo and Kanata. Like that's it. Those were the only two characters we saw.
I mean,
And Yapul. Oh yes, okay. Actually, I'm about to say
we'll get into that.
but like, and it was just kind of nice. They were just kind of teaming up, and like he's trying to figure things out. He even brings up because like obviously he can. Well, it's probably because I was probably mixing that with trying to say Agams or Agamus
Obviously.
or something. he brought up to Kengo, he's like, hey, I need to save somebody like how you saved Kimura. And he's just like, oh, he didn't say who.
How did you do that? And he's just like, I don't know.
He's like, you just...
Did he give him an answer?
I don't remember. I don't think he did. Well, I don't think he really finished his sentence before they got attacked by robots.
That's fair.
Ninja robots.
Yeah, because
by Yapul.
Because something that we haven't mentioned is that they're on like a moon base at the moment. It's kind of abandoned at the moment.
There was a King Joe.
It's like a sphere hive, like this.
Yeah, sphere hive, like for all their warrior
And
little
like
sphere.
that's like the whole reason Kengo's even there is like, oh, he just kind of came here.
Yeah, Akito was like, go kick these people out of the fucking thing. But they get separated at one point, and we see Kengo get consumed by the sphere, or they're trying to absorb him. And I thought at first, I was like, oh shit, is he gonna have to fight a sphere trigger? And all of a sudden, like, no, that didn't happen this episode. And I was like, where the fuck do I remember hearing about a sphere trigger? I thought about that. And I remembered that was for a stage show. So there is a sphere trigger.
Well, I mean, we also saw that it happened to Kengo. Like, he almost, like, completely blacked out before...
Oh, yeah, we saw when Kanata got got out of the dimension. Decker almost got absorbed.
Yeah,
and that's pretty much it. Oh, yeah, then the Yapul alien starts to get absorbed by...
That's more at the end, but they start to forget who and what.
Yeah, I was about to say, Yapul pretty much just stops possessing that alien and just pieces out. Alright, so, this is, like, I think the most important part of the episode.
Yeah.
Of, like, Kengo gave Kanata a flashlight communicator.
The best way I can describe it for people, like, we'll put a picture of it, like,
it's right here.
Screenshot, but the best thing I can describe it as is, like, it looks like a Fisher-Price children's GoPro. Like, you know how they make, like, it's a cell phone, but for kids, and it has
a dog button.
It has, like, apples on it or something. But, with this, it looks like that, but, like, with, like, a GoPro, and then they, like, repainted it or something. You also had the description of, like, oh, it looks like those, like, camping flashlights.
Yeah, it looks like a book or a camping flashlight, like, with an adjustable...
You could tell they went to the dollar store and just painted something.
Yeah, it's a really kind of cheap prop.
But, it's not that important, so whatever. But...
And there's a message from his parents, and it was such a, like...
So sweet.
Yeah, and it's like...
It almost actually got me teared up a little bit. I didn't cry, but I was like...
No, it was very nice, and where it was like, they're like, hey, we believe in you, and even his dad was like, oh, Kengo told us that you became select. He's like, I can't believe it. A son of a rice cracker maker is protecting the earth. Which
take care of your grandpa, and just like talking about just like, hey, we don't know all the details, but we know you're working hard, and we're really proud of you,
and we're okay.
And we're okay. So
they even look like they've been through it though.
Yeah, they're all like
they're definitely Mad Maxing up there in Mars. And yeah, then we pretty much. It's just
Mad
a really
Max
sweet.
Rover edition.
Oh my god.
All of them on space.
Oh.
Like just on like.
And they're in a dome, so will they go beyond that dome?
The Thunderdome.
But yeah, no. So what are your thoughts on that? Like the little interaction between his parents.
I mean, again, it was just such a sweet, wholesome moment. Like. Because, like, I mean, well, again, a lot of, like, what we've been getting recently is some really, like, tough stuff. A lot of, like, hard-to-swallow pills and, like...
A lot of revelations.
Yeah, and just to, like, have, like... Because we had a lot of, like, that sweet wholesomeness at the very beginning of the show, but we haven't really had a whole lot of it since.
Yeah.
So it's kind of nice to see, like, them reintroduce those feelings again.
Alright, before we get back to the fighting... Actually, let's just finish up the fighting. Quick. And then we'll get to my favorite part of the episode, the B-plot. The Hanejiro B-plot. So they pretty much, he breaks him out of the sphere, they both turn into tiny ultras.
Oh yeah, we see him little.
Yeah, and then they just fucking annihilate the Yapul monster.
Oh my god,
they don't even, like, hesitate. Like, even though this monster wasn't, he forgets who Yapul is, doesn't know, it just doesn't even have memories, they're like, fucking vaporize him. Like, he's dead.
And of course we get a big monster battle.
Yeah, they
spheres, like, go and, like...
A Galactron too.
Yeah, there was, like, a Galactron, a King Joe, and, like, something else in the background. And they possess the Galactron, and they...
Mark II.
They fight him. And you had mentioned that it's kind of nice that there's like a couple of like monsters or robots that they always consistently have when they show up. Like they are difficult no matter what.
Yeah, and like that's my favorite part about Ultraman. Like you know how with Kamen Rider often like sometimes they'll show like how like Kamen Riders get stronger and stronger. Then like you'll see like certain Kamen Riders just annihilate just a certain monster, and you're just like, hey, that was a hard monster to fight at one time. Or something, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but they're consistently hard.
Where it's like you have one
throughout different series.
Yeah, exactly. Like Zeton. Zeton is very much one of those that are like anytime Zeton shows up, somebody's fucked.
Or the weird lump.
Oh yeah, the fourth dimensional lump.
It's I kind of appreciate that because obviously all these shows are written by different people, so someone could have been like, well, my guy's stronger, so...
Which doesn't mean they don't make stronger versions of those monsters.
It's kind of cool that, like, everyone kind of collectively just agrees now,
yeah.
Don't mess with
even,
those.
Like, Galactrons, King Joes, like, they're not, like, sometimes they're not tougher than they usually are, but they're usually, like, they're not an easy fight.
Yeah,
like,
they're still a threat.
Like, meanwhile, it's like they also use that to their advantage, so if you see somebody take out a bunch of fucking Zetons, you're just like,
whoa.
You're just like, oh, shit. Fuck, Zeton, a new version of Zeton was like the final boss of Ultraman Saga. Oh yeah, we also had like the Zeton they gave like a heart. You remember that guy?
Maybe? Like what was that from?
That was from Absolute Conspiracy, you remember? He was the alien Zet. And Zet was like, hey, you can't, that's my name. He's like, fuck that guy. But yeah, no, that's pretty much Deck.
And then he gives him like the sphere card again so he can go home.
Yeah.
That's pretty much where the episode ends. Like.
Yeah. All right. My favorite part. Hanejiro. So as you saw, I guess they didn't okay, we mentioned it last episode. Like how they were not that far away from him. It was literally they were in his
line of sight.
Yeah, he should have been in their line of sight. But, like, he just disappears, and apparently Hanejiro told them that he was in the medical bay, and they're like, oh, how's he doing? He's like, he's fine.
He's injured, but fine. He even gave a couple of examples, like, oh, he stubbed his toe, but he's in the infirmary. Or,
yeah, something like that.
Like, stuff like that, and they're, like, calling him out on their
shit.
And they're, like...
Even the captain.
However, Captain does something interesting.
Captain does something very... interesting. So the captain says Hanejiro is lying and then winks.
No, Adam, that's not what happened. He's like, yes, Hanejiro is lying. He's like, Kanada just doesn't want to worry us.
Yeah.
That's why he's doing this. That's why he's telling Hanejiro all these things. And then he turns to Hanejiro and winks. This bitch knows. We think
both captain and the vice captain.
We think they both know.
We think they both know. Maybe they don't, but I think...
I really hope that when he's like, how long have you guys known? He's just like, it was obvious.
Well, fuck, Raymond said not too long ago that he would be like, well, look at all the injuries and everything. That, and I feel like if the professor found out...
How funny would it be if when he finally comes out to tell these people that he's Decker, they're all just gonna know already? They're like,
no, I want Raymond to freak out, no.
Like he's the one that didn't know.
No, yeah. I want that now. But yeah, no. And so... they're pretty much like, well, fuck you. And, apparently Raymond went to the infirmary. He's like, he's not there. And, so they go to Kanada's room.
With Hanejiro.
With Hanejiro. And they're like, what have you been doing? We've been worried about you.
He has, the blankets up to, his chin. He's
yeah.
like, oh, I'm fine, guys. Don't need to worry about me. And they leave Hanejiro there, and they leave. And then he just, pulls back the blankets. He still has
the gun.
The gun and full
armor. I now get that comic now.
You didn't.
I didn't put that together.
Yeah, I thought you were the one that pointed that out to me. Oh
no, I didn't realize. I forgot he was in the bed with it. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not gonna.
I'm gonna make you sorry.
I
honestly don't even know what that means.
And Hanejiro, he pretty much just tells Hanejiro, you're my best friend. After they leave.
I like you too, Kanata. I'll always be by your side. And they're, hugging and shit. I am so shocked he didn't, give him a little kiss on the head or something. I don't know why.
Give him a little kiss.
Give him a little kiss. But yeah, I can't wait until he's just tragically ripped away from us at some point.
Oh yeah, wait, I'm realizing when we were watching this, you just wanted everyone to kiss.
I know, but I don't know, like, fucking, dude, don't call me out. Just...
It was a joke, but
I know, but it's like they have, like, listen, Kanata and Kengo just have, like, a nice, like, vibe to them. Like,
got
I
bros.
don't see them, like, dating or anything. Like, I don't see anything super serious, but it's just, like, there's, like, a tension. I was just like, and now kiss. Like,
yeah, I
and
thought
then, like, a Honey Roads, it's like, there's, like, a cute little friend, like, kissing
he's
on
a
the
honey
head.
chap.
Look at how cute he is, you know what I mean? I feel like I was owed 2 kisses in this episode. Listen. Not enough kisses. Come on, kisses.
Oh my god. Alright, but do you have anything else?
Kanata looked like a fucking psycho in a few of the fucking shots that we got.
I bet you probably already saw him.
Yeah,
Let's
that's
not
just so
lie.
weird.
Yeah.
Dawn Bros?
I was about to say, yeah, Decker was fine.
Yeah, it was fine.
Dawn Brothers.
Again, it was just a breather. Oh my god, where do we fucking start with this?
You say it's a breather, but okay.
It's a not serious episode. I
Well-
don't want to call it a piece of fluff. I don't want to call it fluff.
It's definitely not fluff, but
It's fun, but it's like, it's not, it just doesn't have a whole lot of seriousness
And-
in it.
does it open up with Tsubasa with talking to the cops and being like, yeah, I was in the Juto
Yeah.
forest and I don't know how-
I don't know how someone must have come and
Yeah.
released me.
So-
I imagine you can probably put together who that was. So
we think.
the one lady, I don't remember.
I think it's Taro actually.
Wasn't it Soini or what was
Yes.
her name?
Sononi.
Sononi.
Yeah.
How would Taro do that?
It's a Dawn Clan thing.
I guess, but I don't think he. I don't know.
Remember because he
Well,
found
they
out via
talked
the
about
crane.
it. Yeah, but they talked about it later. Just like, hey, I saw a bestial that looked a lot like you. You doing okay? He's like, yeah. How do you know about that? It's a long story. You know, they literally talked about that
Okay,
later
then
in the
maybe you're
episode.
right. Maybe you're right. Okay.
Because she was the one that at least acknowledged it, and it just seemed like that's what it was hinting at.
I guess.
But
What happens if it was Jin?
I mean, anyway, so yeah, he's out, and like one thing that doesn't make sense though was like there's like a funny moment of like him like seeing a cop, and they're just like, "Hey, morning," and he's still like traumatized, like, "Ah, yeah, it's nice weather."
Yep.
And then he's putting up his new bounty for when he was a bestial.
Yep.
But I'm just like, he was literally just talking to the cops about like, yeah, I was a bestial, but I'm okay now. Why is there a bounty on his fucking head? Why is there a
I'm
bounty?
assuming this is like a weird police upper brass kind of thing of like they're the uptown guys, these are the downtown guys. They haven't gotten the memo yet.
I mean, maybe, but it's like maybe it's just like to kind of continue the joke, but
I hope that like that goes
Hashtag
away pretty quick.
free anyway, brother.
And then he pretty much, after he runs away, he runs into Kajino, or Kajino finds him.
Yeah.
Kajino's like, oh, hey.
He's like very hesitant because he's like, is he a bestial still? Like,
Well, yeah, and then like, and he offers him to go to dinner with all of them.
mm-hmm. He's like, oh, Miho will come. He's like, what? He's like, yeah, Miho came back. And then he's like, oh, mind showing me? And he takes him home and he sees
the
the
doll.
doll. And he had about the same reaction we did of, what the fuck?
Yeah, like, he has this look on his face of like,
Oh, my God. He cracked.
It's like, he's gone.
I mean, the thing is, like, with Kajino, it's like, I don't like him still. I'm still mad at him, but it's like, I understand that he's going through a lot right now. It's like, I hate you a little less.
But yeah,
And,
he just hugs him.
he
Just
fucking, anyway, brother's such a bro.
Tsubasa,
Tsubasa is the best.
he's the only not insane one of the group.
Yeah, he like
Outside of
hugs
having to
him.
run.
He's just like, you know what? I will go with you. It's fine.
Just
It's
let
okay,
me
buddy."
leave Miho behind.
Mhm.
Let's go.
But she wants to go. No, it's okay, buddy. Like,
And they go to this really expensive restaurant.
and the monster of this week is like a food critic that has like
Oh, that's what we opened
God's
up on.
tongue, the devil tongue, or whatever.
She had devil's tongue.
Her whole thing is like she feels like she's tasted everything. Everything is the same. And
Oh, we're
I
gonna.
have a few questions as to who like was in like the department for like props, I guess, because like she's like, oh, I keep blacking out and waking up completely stuffed. What the hell am I eating while I'm blacking out? But they made her look like she was pregnant.
Pregnant. Like, yeah.
Again that. But
Well, it's funny, they only do the effect once. Like, and I get it's for comedy, but, like, it's like, why?
it's just like, couldn't you
Also, it's like, if you're eating, if that's what your stomach looks like after that, where it's like, I'm like, that's what...
To be fair, she's eating people, so...
That is right.
But,
So, you know what, I'm not gonna say it.
I
I almost said something, and I'm not gonna say it.
man. Fucking, so... Yeah, they go to this restaurant, and they basically all start fighting at one point.
Yeah, they like this fancy restaurant with this actor who looks very familiar as like the main chef.
Yeah, we can't put where he was. But,
Like I can't find any of the credits
Tsubasa
right now.
and Kajino were arguing about Miho.
Yeah, because he's like, dude, she's
It's
a doll.
And then Toravolt and
Yeah,
Taro start arguing because he's just like, fight me! And he's like, we're at a restaurant. You sit down, mister, like a fucking parent. And Sara brother and Oni's sister are fucking arguing because, like, of just, like, they're
getting friendly with
the Cyberarians.
Yeah,
I keep wanting to call them the librarians, by the way.
that's why I just call them Noto or Naoto.
Naoto.
Yeah.
But I don't remember that because I haven't been reading that, so meh.
Well, I'm about to say. But yeah, no, it's like, it's so funny that they all started arguing. By the way, I also had to say, I'm like, you know Kajino's off his rocker. He invited Jiro.
Yeah.
Which, by the way,
who is all better, by the way?
Yeah, he is cured.
Oh my gosh, what's her name?
Rumi.
Yeah, she like left on a bus and she's like, oh my god, I'm exhausted.
She's
and
like,
he like chases after her on the bus. It's super cute.
Oh my god, I like how she's just like,
She left him a bunch of food.
Yep. Which we'll get back. Put a pin in the food. Put a pin in her food, not her himself. Oh no.
I wanted to do a stab sound, but I think it sounded more like a fart sound.
A very wet fart sound. Then it sounds like like you were more like a tomato squish.
I meant to go like more like, but my lip got in the way on accident. And just, you know.
Why did you do that? Stop. Nope. Oh my god.
I'm very mature.
You're very mature. These are very adult shows. Thank you.
Sentai's for adults.
Yeah, you know, my favorite, Sentai's for adults. Like the episode from Kira Major where a grown woman with the mind of an 8-year-old made a fucking helicopter queef. What?
That's a thing we can say.
That's a real thing.
The fact that that isn't a lie.
And if somebody's saying, the helicopter farted, it wasn't a queef, it was coming out the front end. Where the fuck do you think that goes? Just saying. Just saying.
Anyway, so Tsubasa and the head chef kind of get into a little bit of an argument. They basically are like, let's have a food war.
Yeah, that's quite literally.
The food critic's there. She's like, I'll judge it, and then they go home to practice, and they both randomly decide.
Yeah,
to make
his
omelets.
dad.
They're like, okay, the thing to make this the best. I need the best eggs around.
Before we get to the eggs, let's talk about Tsubasa mentioning his dad, who's also a fugitive.
Well, I guess yeah. Well, this is the perfect time. I didn't get into the eggs yet. I just mentioned it.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, so apparently his dad taught him a lot of like what he knows.
All the fundamentals of cooking.
But he wasn't around a lot because he was also a fugitive, but was also innocent.
Naturally.
It runs in the family.
Yeah, I like that, like, Oni sister is like, what the fuck?
Even, like, Sour Brother was like, what?
Yeah, like, hello?
What?
Yeah, so, yeah, Sarahara was just like, I'll get the eggs. Don't worry.
Leave it to me.
And since
and here's the thing, Kajino, who was paying the bill,
couldn't pay it because it was. By the way, very much a meme right there.
Yeah, I was just like, I don't have enough money for chicken nuggets. But, and so he has to like work for the restaurant for a little bit to pay off the bill.
And he has to go get the eggs.
He's like mopping the floor, and he's like, I'm gonna make an omelet. Go fetch me eggs. And he's
the
like,
finest
okay.
eggs.
The finest of
Which, by the way,
eggs.
By the way, it literally just
that hurt my throat.
Oh, you alright? But
Eggs.
literally the farm they go to literally just says finest eggs.
Yes, and there's like chickens. And then Sour Brother goes to get it.
And he gets the last one.
Yep. And then fucking
fucking
Sonoy,
Sonoy shows
of all
up.
people, is just like,
I
I need
need-
those eggs, give them to me. And he's like, no. And then he takes them, and then Kajino's like, hello, I'm taking those eggs as well. Ha 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 ha.
Yeah,
and then
just-
he runs away. And then there's just like a fucking small fight of them trying to like get the eggs.
And obviously you can guess what the punchline is.
They drop them, and they shatter.
And the guy yells at them.
How wasteful, and they're like, I'm so sorry.
And then he's like, fine, I'll give you these extra eggs that were for me.
And we see like the bottom half of the fucking Kaji brothers.
I think.
For like one of the first times. Like,
Yeah.
Outside of a stage show.
Or just platform shoes. Like, this one
On
still had the
stilts.
length.
Can you imagine not only being on stilts, but the stilts have platform shoes? I mean, come on.
Oh my god. But yeah, no, so like they break the eggs, but he gives them eggs, so they're fine. How many more times can I say eggs in that sentence? The contest
Exactly.
Um,
Anyway, he's like, I was gonna take these home for myself. I guess you guys can have them.
assholes.
Assholes.
And he's just like, okay, and they leave.
And the fight
Yeah,
happens, and then she goes crazy again, and she eats Inoue brother and the chef.
Yeah.
And they straight up went to fucking Helheim.
And or just this often reused like lakeside.
Yeah.
Like I realized that even last year in Revice, they used that location for the in episode I want to say 8 or 9, somewhere around like Evil's debut when like when actual Kagero actually revealed himself to like Iki and all of them at the hotel.
It's funny, like the more you watch like writer series, the more like locations that you like identify. Like there's that one like driveway hill place where fucking Laser died.
And a lot of other people either got very injured or died.
Even Akiba Ranger mentioned that.
Mm-hmm. Like I like how you can really tell in the Toei shows their locations.
Yeah, and they're just like, oh my gosh, we're starving. Do you have any food? He's like, oh, and then he looks like 2 feet away.
Yeah.
And he's like,
Inoue brother used his dog nose.
Apparently, and I shit you not.
These are repainted
Even
Helheim.
after we had joked about like, oh, this looks like Helheim, they pulled out fucking Helheim fruit. They're repainted Helheim fruit.
We were immediately like, don't eat it.
Yeah, you could tell like how much Gaim fucked us up because we were immediately like, put those down. You don't know what they do. Don't eat them. Don't eat them.
Silent Green is people. Oh shit.
Helheim fruit fucks you up. I don't know.
Turns you into monsters.
Helheim fruit gives you diarrhea. I don't know.
Is the diarrhea so bad you turn into monsters?
Apparently, you're not the same.
Oh my god.
I don't know,
But yeah, no,
they
and
defeat the monster.
oh yeah, Murasame's there.
We saw Murasame for like 2 seconds.
He freaks out, becomes black Oni Taijin Murasame.
They defeat him. He runs off. It's not a big deal. And then they're all back.
They had to sell that toy.
Yeah, and they're all back outside of the thing.
Yeah, but they brought the fruit with them.
And we saw the beautiful
Spread?
No. I'm talking about before that. We saw the beautiful imagery of like Don Momotaro and like the Golden Phoenix, whatever the fuck it's called, with an explosion and the words "I'm stuffed" on screen.
I'm stuffed.
But, yeah, and then.
No, that would have been good for the Thanksgiving episode.
I don't know if it was just Inoue brother, if it was Inoue brother and the chef, but they made like this
blue
weird,
dishes.
Like one of them is obviously like blue spaghetti. By the way, this is the most unappetizing blue they could have possibly picked. And
I like how the lady was like, "Oh my god, this looks delicious."
And, like, I guess they were probably like some sort of like stuffed roll or something like that. Like
there were hot dogs, I thought.
I don't know.
Ate like
weird blue thing, and then
two
she
hot
eats it, and
dogs.
she's like, "Oh my gosh!" Ah! She basically goes full food wars. Oh my gosh, we didn't mention during the competition.
Oh yeah, with the omelets.
They also like gave like the omelets that they were competing with to the others, and they like fucking were pouncing around.
Yeah, it's like it's that moment.
And we see him in the background just like acting stupid and like.
Yeah, it's like one is how Food Wars portrays these. The other one is the reality if you try to do that in real life.
Yeah, you almost poked me in the face with your hand gestures. But yeah, and then they just kind of like.
But yeah, the blue noodles.
The bloodles. Yeah, it just looks so bad. Like it's, oh god.
And
then
also,
she's like satisfied or whatever.
And you mentioned something about that. You gonna say it? Where it's like, because they were in like the pocket dimension within her Hiroyutsuki.
Oh yeah. So I just kind of found it. I don't know if I'm reading too much into it or if it might actually become a theme of. It was interesting that the Hiroyutsuki, they went inside of it. And, we also saw, like, the things that they usually shoot with, like, their sunglasses. And then the solution to the Hiroyutsuki's problem was inside it. So it makes me wonder if, like, if that's going to be a thing later of, like, instead of, like, just defeating their monsters or murdering them, they, like, solve their problem for them and it goes away. Because we've seen
that's
that.
happened.
We've seen that, like, with the one guy that was, like, ended up in a relationship.
Oh yeah, the fat guy.
The fat guy who fell in love.
Also, do you not remember the ghost?
Oh yeah, and the ghost I was able to pass on because of it. I completely forgot about that somehow. That was a great episode.
That was a great episode.
But like, even I guess like I wonder even like maybe that's how they finally get rid of Ninja Guy because he's alive.
Yeah, so, I love that he's still alive.
It just makes me wonder if like because I'm starting to realize they're leaving breadcrumbs with that of like satisfying whatever is inside of them.
Well, I feel like it's just them showing you there's more than one way to beat them. Like, there's a bunch.
Yeah.
And overall, I think this was really interesting on how they did it. And that's pretty much most of the episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
just kind of like a fun episode. However, at the very end...
Two final things. Take that pin back out.
Out of Rumi.
Yeah. Stop.
No.
Like, Taro tries it, and you seriously just see him Peter Pan fly away from Jiro.
Jiro just got 100 points there, if you know what I mean.
Where it's like, holy shit.
And the Rumi's cooking is really good.
Yeah, apparently. Maybe, well, to be fair, it did heal them.
Jiro, so.
Yeah. So, And that's pretty much where the episode almost ends. But then we go back to fucking Kajino's apartment. Guess who's back?
He's talking to his little Miho doll, and suddenly fucking Miho walks through the fucking thing like, oh, welcome home.
What is this woman doing to this man?
Oh my god.
She's gaslighting him, right?
Like, this is terrible. This is fucking... Again, like, I hated Kaji Brother for a minute, but now I just feel bad. I don't know what's going on. By the way, poor Tsubasa. All he wants is his girl back.
To be fair, though...
God, what is happening? Poor people.
To be fair, though, to get his girl back, he has to get her out of the forest.
That's fair.
Like
True.
the crane... We now know for sure the crane bestial is not her.
Yeah, it's a mimic, essentially.
So, yeah. I'm wondering...
I wonder if, like, my previous theory before we kind of knew what was going on is going to unintentionally end up true of the Miho bestial is going to stay with Kaji Brother while the original Natsumi is going to go with Tsubasa.
I kind of hope not. I want her to die.
I also don't hope that happens, but, like, I don't know. It's kind of funny to think of.
Because, again, maybe we're getting less and less mad at Kajino, but he needs...
Therapy.
He needs something. Like, dude...
Lot of therapy.
Like, you don't need this woman. She's a fucking monster.
Literally.
Yeah.
And figuratively.
Yeah. So, like, she's gaslighting you.
I think so. Is that what gas does? Is that gas?
Well, she's telling him that she's this person who's not real.
Either way, it's manipulative as fuck, so not okay.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's where it fucking ends.
Like, yeah, that's where it ends, and you're just like, the fuck? What was that? Overall, a really fun episode, though.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Move on to Geets?
We got the Geets, and everything that everyone thought was going to happened this episode.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that in a second. So where do we want to start with Geets? There's a lot to unpack here.
Let's kind of go with what Geets himself was kind of up to, because I feel like...
Oh, wait, I'm realizing, actually the opening part pretty much does open up with the big thing I was putting a pin in. Where it's like, it's literally all of them running away. And you remember, old man Owl Man is very injured right now. And like, they get trapped in like a church thing somewhere in the mansion.
Them for me.
Yeah, and he's like, oh, just leave me. And you're just like, no! Oh my god. I don't know why. I just lost my train of thought. But he was just like, oh, leave me. And they're like, no, we can't leave you and everything. And the Jamato break in again. And you see...
The kid, defend his sister.
Yeah, his little sister. And you see Kaiwa hesitate. He's just like...
Adam, the little brother, defends the older sister.
No, that's what I'm saying. He hesitates. And then the younger brother steps in.
Mm-hmm.
because like he was just like, oh, I should do something, and he's like, and
He
then
never would have hesitated before.
yeah, exactly, and then that's like what makes him remember. He gets like a glimpse, and he was just like, and he talks to the old man or something. I can't remember who he's talking.
He talks to Geets. He's like, "How do I remember?
Yeah,
how do I fight like you?"
Exactly. And then Geets was like, just reach into my pants and touch this.
Not into my pants. I made the joke of like, oh, the fucking belt is like the popcorn bucket with the hole cut in the bottom. It's just like, I made you touch dick. Like,
yeah. But yeah, he says, touch my ID cord. Touch me. But yeah, he touches his ID cord and gets his memories back, and the game master immediately calls, and it's just like,
the fuck,
bro, that's fucking, you can't do that. And he's just like, let me in, and he's like, what?
Let me fight.
He's like, I want back in, and he's just like, and then Geets literally gave him the ultimatum of just like come on, what? He wants to help protect the Earth.
Isn't that your whole goal?
Goal?
Or is it something else?
Yeah, or is there something else you're not telling us? And he's just like,
only if he's willing to.
Fine, but Owlman has to give up his rights.
And he's like, fucking hell yeah!
And
I'm hurt as hell.
And like, this was a really good moment.
It was really sweet.
Like, and you see like Keiwa just be like, oh, are you sure? You won't get your desired world and everything, and you won't. It's like, that sucks and everything.
I'm okay. I don't need to be young anymore. I don't have that desire anymore. I just want to see you guys protected and happy.
He's like, oh, and he's like, I just now know I have to live every day to the fullest and live life.
Like, I don't need to be young to do that.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm okay with the age I am now.
Exactly.
Really,
so it's like, it was really sweet, and it really does bump him, I think, up to out of the group of what I'm gonna call like the randos, just like the there to drop out riders. Mm-hmm. He's like the best one, and I think maybe Letter might be the worst one.
Well, I mean, we met them for like 2 seconds, and they got murdered brutally. So.
Yeah, I don't know who I would say the worst. Danpan's the worst. Never mind. Danpan's the worst one.
He sucks.
He's a fucking wang.
I mean, even with like, what was it? It was Genpan that was the original like penguin.
Yeah, the penguin guy with his son.
We learned a little bit about him. We knew nothing about Letter, so. Which, by the way, for those who don't know, that's like the white sheep girl that has this.
Who died?
Who like basically got fucking billy clubbed with swords.
Yeah, that's terrible. Now I cannot think about it. With the What's New Scooby Doo theme. That's terrible. Can somebody please edit that for me, please? Just her death scene with the What's New Scooby Doo theme. Please don't, actually. That's terrible. She's dead. But yeah, no. So they are immediately like, all right, we're sending the Tycoon ID core. And
Go find it.
Yeah, and like, so he goes out to get it, which I think the funniest part about him, I do like that they sent him a buckle to go with it, which was Magnum. But
and a driver.
Well, the driver is what he needs, so it's like, at least, like, that's what he knew they were sending. And that's where they split up, actually. Because it was, then we see Geets run into Punkjack and Surumi, I think her name?
I think it's Surumi.
The game name, Navigator. And
they're in, like, this old thing where it's like, you can tell this game has been played before, and they're, like, looking for, like, notes and stuff.
And Geets picks up this journal.
And it makes me wonder, because they seem like they don't know anything about it, and Geets does. It makes me wonder if this is his shit. Like,
he left it there like a dick.
I wonder if it's his stuff.
Yeah, which makes sense. Like he's even like the little kid's like, hey, what about my sister? He's like, oh, he's with Tycoon and Yago. They're gonna be fine.
Yeah, and he's basically Geets has them figured out.
Yeah, Geets is just like, do you really think you can outfox the fox?
Bitch.
Like a little
fox.
Oh my god. But yeah, no, and he's just like, what, you figured it out? He's like, yeah, I can already tell, bitch. What? And he's like, why does management want me out, assholes? I'm like, it makes me wonder, has he pissed off other game masters? Like, he's just like, this isn't my first rodeo. This isn't the first guy who wants me dead. Showed him.
But the whole thing with like the actual game itself going on, like, not only do they have to like help the civilians navigate through the
they had to figure out the language,
but they had to like basically decode like the language. That's what they were looking through, because they were trying to like figure out
Like what their symbols mean.
Like what their symbols mean, like, you know, oh, how does it translate? Because they had to, like, do a verbal cue to open the door.
Yeah, it was a voice activated lock.
And, like, it's so funny because Geets is an asshole, but, like, he's weirdly good with kids. Like, when,
that was
like,
really
he
nice.
was really good at always, like, comforting him or, like, reassuring him and even trusting him in certain times.
Yeah, he gave him the journal.
It's so weird that, like, of all things, like, Geets is good with kids.
Yeah.
I mean, they'll probably amount to something later, but I don't know. I think it's funny.
No, it was honestly really cute.
Yeah.
And I think it's really funny that you saw Punk Jack just be like, fuck, I've been found out. And they were actually getting ready to fight. You remember, they were getting ready to tussle. Mm-hmm. And he's like, hey, I'm ready to get you out by any means necessary, bitch.
Oh, but we did skip over one scene of basically everybody having the slot machine.
No, that's afterwards.
Is that after?
Yeah, because you remember Sarumi's just like, hey, I'm the game navigator, and that's against the rules, and I'm not going to fucking witness it. Because she didn't want them to fight against each other.
Yeah. But I meant more like, when they went through the doors, when they mission cleared.
No.
Before that is what I meant.
Well, that's not what I was talking about.
Anyway, everyone gets slot machine buckles at one point.
Before we get to the slot machine buckles, we need to talk about one real quick thing.
What?
Because it was the montage they all conveniently beat Yamato to get all their buckles that they needed. But I like how you see Tycoon.
Oh, I know what you're gonna talk about now.
Where Tycoon is trying to go help people, and you see Buffa. He's in the corridor, which, by the way, he just pretty much, we found out what his response would be after they're like, he's like, you're trying to get Geets out. What the fuck? And they're like,
you want in?
You want in? He's like, fuck you. He's like, I'll beat him on my own terms. I don't need you guys. And then walks off. And then, like, he's getting, like...
Does he drop it, or does he
no,
throw it?
Well, I'll get to that in a second. So, he's going and fighting a bunch of Yamato. And was he fighting one of the riders? I think he was. And he was just like, he's like, I'm getting overwhelmed. I should make some shadow clones, and pulls out the ninja buckle. And one of the monsters knocks it, like baseball bat swings it, where the buckle goes flying over the balcony as Kay was running to go fight.
He's like, how convenient.
Yeah, and exactly, it lands right in front of him. He's like, oh, sweet.
It's good to know his luck is back.
Yeah,
the funny
it's
part
like his luck is back, baby.
It's so funny because, like, the best part is, like, you see Buffa, like, poke his head over.
He doesn't even see him.
Where the fuck did it go?
Yeah, he's like, what the fuck? Oh my god. And then they all slot machine up.
Yeah, and you see, like, a couple cool combinations. You can see a couple of, like the full suits where it's like, beat, or, like, ninja.
Yeah,
Magna,
and they all...
which has so many guns.
We'll get to put the pin in the guns in a second. Fun fact, though, I do think is really interesting about the fever slot is we do get... Each of them get, like, an extra of their piece of clothing. Like, Tycoon gets a new golden band. Obviously, Geets gets the new extra scarf. Buffa gets, like, a second skirt, so he has, like, the full skirt, I guess, now.
Mm-hmm.
Nyago gets, like, double, like, bangles, like, things.
Oh, I see.
And so she just gets those wrapped around. And Punkjax gets, like, 2 twin capes over the shoulders, which, honestly, a lot of them look really cool.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, apparently I think it was revealed recently in Soto 4 is we're getting the rest of the fever slot riders.
Cool. Okay, we gotta fucking mention, not only, like, I feel like 2 of them are basically the superior ones obviously Geets just being covered in guns, but B, we gotta mention the fact that Buffa finally gets to fucking dual wield
That was the
chainsaws.
most badass moment ever. Like, you seriously see him one chainsaw so going like, and then you're just like, oh my god. You're just like, wait, shouldn't he have a second one? You see him pull the other one up onto his shoulder, rev it, and just fucking annihilates the fucker.
Groovy.
Oh my god, yeah. Eat your heart out, Bruce Campbell. Can Bruce Campbell be American Buffa? I can see the gears turning in your head.
I can see, like, the voice coming out of that.
Yeah.
I would love to see someone put, like, some Ash's lines or just Bruce Campbell's voice over. But
yeah.
That would be pretty funny.
That would be pretty funny. And, like, yeah, that was a really badass scene. Monster was cool. It was just Sparkle Pants. But yeah, Geets then annihilates, and we finally get to see some of the Jamato riders die.
Yeah, like, because their whole belts just shatter.
Yeah, Geets shot the fuck out of it. He was like dual wheel.
Also was just fucking punching the fuck out of people.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, but like they literally just, you see him jump in the air, and they just made sure the camera was always like, he was moving, but the camera was always focused in one spot, and he was just shooting the camera.
He had not. I think he also like was able to dual wield actual like.
Well, yeah, he had
pistols.
2 Magnum shooters.
He had like 2 shooters like on his arms, and he also had them like on his feet. So he was just fucking twirling.
He had 6 barrels he could shoot.
He probably shot like 1 billion rounds. Man.
Like, who knows how many rounds that shot?
He went ham.
It was awesome, though.
It was awesome.
But yeah, no, then they eventually get to the door, and they actually finally crack the code. And so, yeah. And that's where the old man gets retired.
Yeah.
But yeah, they both break it out okay. This was his second retirement. Which, by the way, you know, I'm realizing could have been funny if they would, like, if Geets would have known the old man, but back when, like, the old man was young, and he's like, nobody tell him it's me.
Don't tell him that I am his long lost love.
Oh my
I was the one that got away.
God.
He's probably thinks that of himself, like, all the time.
He's like,
it's just like, yeah, they hardly knew me before I broke their hearts, and they're like, fuck you, I actually hate you. He just, like, barely knew me. He's probably gonna think about that with Buffa. Just be like, yes, I always knew. He's just like, what, that I hated you deeply and sincerely inside of me? And he's just like, no, that you truly loved me. He's just like, I will actually kill you. I will skin you alive.
by the way, and
with a chainsaw.
And here's the thing I want to say. I feel like this one thing that has really,
real chainsaw man.
because I think that's pretty. Oh my God. Is there anything else really left in the episode you want to mention?
I'm trying to remember what happens after the mission clears. I don't think we really.
We go back to the greenhouse. And the creepy guys we see more Jamato fetuses, and he's like, the world is ours for the taking. We're gonna destroy the Grand Prix.
He like sprays them.
Yeah.
With, like pesticides or something.
You don't want your Jamato to get fucking locusts. God. What?
Locusts! A terrible flood!
Yeah. It was definitely the Jamato's fault, I swear.
The Ninja Turtles were taking over.
But, yeah, that's how it ends, if I remember correctly. But,
yeah, I think it ends on, like, the mission clear. The
yeah,
closing,
but,
in the
preview, classic Bandai move of, you remember how we just got this fever slot, and how it's, like, almost like a power-up for everyone?
Fuck it, here's another
Yeah,
one.
here's fuck it. We have the fucking twin raise buckle, or twin command buckle, or whatever the fuck it's called. The thing that we're finally selling so you can get a Tycoon ID core.
Oh my gosh, what was the fucking one thing from X-Aid where it was like the dragon one that was basically like, oh wow, that's so cool. It's gone? Oh. Like,
oh yeah. No, that's Zero. You're thinking of Zero. You're thinking of 01 with Shining Hopper, where you're like, oh shit, that's a really cool form. Well, then gets the assault grip, and then you're just like, oh, so we're never seeing that again.
Funny saying right, not
for all three.
Yeah, but no, like wasn't it like the thing with like the dragon one where it was like was it like level 5?
Yeah, it was level 5, and then immediately Genom shows up with level 10. So then you have to get level 20. Oh my god.
Can you imagine Dan and Ace in the same room together?
It's gonna happen.
Can you imagine the chaos?
It's gonna happen. The writer always finds a way to write him, like Dan specifically. Like we're getting Thouser Dan crossover movies. He is the writer who has appeared the most from that show. He has come back more times.
I feel like it's mainly because A, the writer loves him, B, the fans love him, and C, he loves doing it. So I feel like they're just like...
He's a legitimate smart man.
Yeah. Yeah, wasn't he like a genius? Like he's
a pharmacist.
He has like a doctorate. And
yeah, he's actually has a PhD.
That man is actually insane. I fucking love him. Like he went naked for them. He stood naked on a fucking mountain.
There's a shot.
And presented his glory. Like.
Oh my god. But yeah, no.
Accept God's grace. What is it? Accept God's grace.
Oh.
Graciously? No.
Oh my god, I can't remember. Yeah, that's so
so
funny.
insane. I love
So
it.
funny. But yeah, no. The twin command buckle, which gives Geats a new form, obviously. It gets a sword and cannons. But before we
Isn't,
talk
like,
about this,
Tycoon also getting
Tycoon
that
is
now?
also getting that. And this is pretty much what I think is confirming to me. And I know the show's not over, and this is always an argument in any show that has multiple writers, who the actual secondary writer is. Because technically, somebody's like, well, technically, wouldn't it be Buffa? Because he's technically the second longest running rider, and he came with the combo set. Yeah, but in my opinion, uh, Tycoon is on all of the merchandise. They were selling shirts for the Kabuto Raise Buckle, and it was one with Kabuto and Gatak, who's the first and secondary writer of that show. And then they did a shirt for Geats, which was Tycoon and Geats. And then if you look on all the armed raised buckles, who's on all the boxes? Tycoon and Geats. So it's like he's with Geats in almost every shot. There needs to be two of them.
I feel like, that argument kind of falls apart when you, like, apply it to, like, other shows, too. Like, I like to use Hibiki as an example. I feel like
Do they have a
like,
secondary writer?
obviously, like, it's like we follow Mamoru. He's, like, technically, like, the main
Oh,
character.
Armaru, yeah.
Is it Armaru? I thought it was
No, Asamu.
Asamu. Oh my gosh, thank you. It's like, yes, the show is named after Hibiki, aka, Kamen Rider Geats. It's named after Ace, but it's like, obviously we follow Asamu, and this one we follow
Kaiwa,
Tycoon.
yeah.
Kaiwa? Is that his name?
Yeah, that's his real name. See,
My God, there's so many of these.
too many K's.
Too many K names. But it's like, and we follow him, and it's like it would make sense for him to be the secondary writer, especially because it's like, if again, Hibiki is like, there's obviously been a lot more of like, oh my gosh, what are they called? Like, just Oni fighters? Like,
Well, there's just a bunch.
Riders? Like,
Even then, it's like, I don't even know. I guess Ibuki would be the secondary writer, but like...
I feel like it is.
But like, okay, wait. Another example of, though...
I see the arguments.
Like, of like titular writer, but not their story, Deno. Deno is very much the story of Zoronos and everything that he has to deal with. And he gets all the stories, but Ryotaro is technically our main character and is how we're experiencing the story and is the titular writer.
Right.
Like, there's arguments everywhere about that. It's like, who's Gaim's secondary writer? Who's such and such a secondary writer?
You know what? I honestly don't feel like it's that important. It's like, I mean, if you wanted to...
Whoever's gonna fucking show up.
Because I understand, conversation for conversation's sake. Like, sometimes it's fun to banter and argue and stuff. But it's like, don't take it too seriously.
It's like the O's final form debate, which is Puto Tira.
Careful. People take that very seriously. But you are correct. It is Puto Tira. But
I was about to say, movie forms aren't final forms. They're just extra
forms.
Just
like how Deno's final form is liner form.
Exactly.
I can hear the dislikes now.
Maybe. But overall, I think Geats was really fun. I liked Geats a lot.
By the way, just because I randomly remembered it, you just got 100 subscribers recently.
Yay! Thank
Megan.
you. Thank you.
Thank you guys so much for listening and watching. I'm not ending it. I'm just saying thank you.
Yeah, thank you for the 100 subscribers. Thank you if you are listening to this. 58 minutes in. But yeah, no. Overall, yeah. Thank you guys that so much. Since we're pretty much wrapping up, can you pick your favorite episode of the week?
Probably Dawn Brothers. I got a couple of really good laughs out of it.
I might give it to Geats. Geats was just too awesome. Like, I love the choreography.
It was
Like,
a lot of good shit.
I liked all 3 episodes. I will say that. Decker is probably the one where it's like, I think it was really cool. I love the fights.
It was necessary.
I loved,
it was fun, but it was like a breather.
And it's again, and I love the thing with his parents.
That was so
like
sweet.
That was so sweet and a very wholesome and like what he needed at that moment.
Yeah,
and
I'm so happy that like we have 3 really
good
shows
and Dawn
right
Brothers. Dawn Brothers, I agree, was really good. It got me good laughs. It gave me, like, it added some more details that I was like, ooh, yes. It's something I'm like, I really did enjoy. But some of the cinematography and, like, the camera work, the jokes that even were in Geats. Like, I laughed at Geats, too. But, like, it had so much good camera work. The double chainsaws, like, that's what won it for me, honestly. That's, like, the double chainsaw, like, murder. Like, because it was just that moment where it's like, I was waiting for him, like, do it. It's like when you're. It's like when people apparently watch wrestling. I don't know. I've never watched wrestling. But
Give him the chance.
Exactly. It's like, do it right here. And then like you just see him grab the chainsaw, rev it on his shoulder, and you're just like, yeah.
I'm gonna slap into you. I'm gonna snap into you like a Slim Jim.
And like, like I just
I don't know.
like that's why where it's like that has to win the week for me.
Nice.
Like yeah. Next week seems like it's gonna be very interesting.
Actually, yeah, I'm gonna have to agree. Gates was pretty good. Just because I feel like the monster plot was.
Did I win you
weak
over?
And it was weird, but like it's like
The
like
food.
the Helheim and stuff. Helheim's like fruits and stuff were kind of funny to see again.
Hey,
but, like,
Dawn
yeah,
Brothers
Gates
hits
was, like,
every
really
week,
cool.
but like
Yeah, I might have to like change it to Gates. It was really good.
yeah, Geets was so good.
So good.
Do you have your okay? What was your favorite from any of the shows? What was your favorite moment of the week? I already said mine. I'm about to say I already said mine. You can't take
really
mine.
Hard. If you're gonna say that, then I guess I will say like the moment with his parents and Decker. That was just really heartwarming, really sweet. I love wholesome shit like
Yeah,
that.
I'm about to say. Meanwhile, now that makes me look like an asshole. Where it's like, oh, you have a genuine, nice, loving, tender moment. Me, I'm like fucking chainsaws ripping a dude apart.
Oh, you took my hands. That was really awesome.
That was
really
amazing.
cool.
But yeah, that's awesome. Overall,
We love Buffa.
Buffa.
Said something.
Whoa. You know what? We're just gonna end this.
Yeah, baby. I'll tell you after.
Overall, I think this was a really solid week.
Yeah.
I
stuff.
like again. All these shows are really hitting it, and God, Decker's ending in 5 weeks.
Oh God.
Possibly, if they like actually extend the Ultraman show's life, cool. But like we usually end around December, which we are entering. Matter of fact, this will probably be released in December.
Huh. Well.
Oh.
Happy December.
Yeah.
Man, that month flew by.
Decker. I'm gonna miss Decker.
Yeah, Decker was really good. Again, I hope it sticks the landing.
Well, I will say, by this point in Trigger, we were kind of like, you know what I mean? We were kind of like, well, we're now near the end game.
It doesn't feel like it's about to start wrapping up. Like it almost.
Well, like, and like that was the thing
sad.
though with Trigger. But here's the thing though, when we were thinking about and comparing it to Trigger, I can't remember if it was on this recording or before while we were talking about it beforehand.
I don't think we mentioned it on the recording yet, so.
But like I know at one point we mentioned it in recording, like, oh, like the gut select teams like in Trigger versus Decker, where it's like something I still do really like about Decker is that his whole like all the gut select team members, we can tell you at least one aspect or a storyline or something they got, and like talk to about them as characters. Like, am I gonna say like, oh, this is the most spectacular show? This is like oh, like on like certain levels, like this is groundbreaking. I wouldn't say that, but it's like I genuinely do really like this show. I love its cast, and it gives me reasons to like this cast. Where it's like we like Trigger's cast, but it's like when you think about it, at the end of the day, we were like,
we don't remember.
yeah, it's like
names.
what are their characters?
Like it's like we like the characters, but we can't tell you that much about them.
Yeah. I would say, and all of a sudden I was ultimately thinking at one point where I'm like, Captain, what the fuck you doing? Just fucking get your cycloner, get your fucking motorcycle, go kick some fucking ass, and Ryder chop their fucking throats in. Just saying.
Let's fucking kick some shit up. In case you don't know, that's the same.
Yeah, he played Ichigo in Kamen Rider the First. But yeah, no. I'm about to say, I'm.
And which you did a review on.
Have I actually?
I thought you did.
I might have.
For like
some stupid bullshit I did at some point, yeah.
Summer movie-thon.
If I did, that means it was back in 2021. That means that was a year ago, which is probably why I don't remember it, because it was probably bad.
Coming up on 2.
We're on 22. Next year's 23, Stormy.
Yeah, you said 21.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like it was from a year.
Yeah, and I said we're coming up on 2, as in we're coming up on 2 years because it is about to be 2023 soon.
Oh, I was confused.
I know, you usually are.
On
that note,
really excited for that Tycoon ID core.
Yeah, you somehow managed to get that. Like, that sold out quick, and man, it like upped in price really fast.
Well, that and it's like since it's a promo item, there's not places that can guarantee you it, and at least I got in a place where it guarantees me it.
Yeah.
Which I am already seeing like the prices on both the site I ordered on, which was Amazon Japan, and I imagine probably eBay and shit.
Oh,
Like people are gonna want that thing, but that's for another day. And yeah, I think that's it. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Again, eventually I do want to get this show on other platforms.
You know what? Just to start a conversation, I guess. Like, what's a place that you usually listen to podcasts that would be a good place for us to put it?
Yeah, it's
what
like
would make you guys the happiest?
I'd like to get us on stuff like maybe iTunes and like Spotify. Like those, I know those are big ones. I don't want to pay.
Podbean is one, right?
Yeah, I do. I would say Podbean is a thing. But if we ever do,
what do you guys prefer? I guess.
Yeah, but say, do you guys have any platforms you guys want us to get on, or not? I don't know.
If you guys are from America,
yeah, take us.
Hope you had a good Thanksgiving.
Yeah, well, we already told them to have a good Thanksgiving last episode.
I know, but it's obviously post now. I know.
Well, it's
I know
post.
the Canadian Thanksgiving is like in October, so if you're also Canadian, happy Thanksgiving to you.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well.
See you next week, guys.
Yep. Until next week. Bye.